Hello everyone and welcome back to the Paddy Panda series. Now in today's video I've got quite an exciting one. We're going to be detailing the Panda. Now when we spray painted the front and side pieces green, which you can see here, for some reason our masking job wasn't quite up to scratch, and a bit of the clear coat when we cleared them has actually gone underneath the paper that we'd put on. Now under here there's a fair bit of overspray. If you go with a nail you can get it off. So it's really going to need a decent clay barring before I begin the polishing section. So what we'll do is we'll go outside and I'll show you all of the imperfections this has got. Then we're going to wash it, then we're going to clay bar it, and then we're going to dry it off and mask it up ready for a polish. So let's get outside and I'll show you what's up with it. Right then, we're going to go freehand for this one. Here you may be able to see up there, that's the first part where we got overspray. You can see that actually in general the paint's in pretty bad condition. We've got some marks here from birds. We've also got a lot of paw prints on this thing. And if you can see there's some just smaller minor imperfections all over the paint. So obviously there's parts like this we're not going to be able to remove, which are just little dents over here and there. But overall the car's pretty clean. You can see here it just needs a really good deep wash and a thorough detailing just throughout all these little places, because I think before we bought it, it did have a polish done to it, but it wasn't a particularly good job. And you can see they didn't mask up these little areas, or they didn't just wipe them off. I mean, all it takes is a little bit of quick detailer to wipe these off. But you know, there we are. So what we're going to do is start the washing. Okay, first port of call is a pre-wash. Now I'm going to do as much as I can contactless before I start with the wash mitt, just so I don't cause any more scratches really. We're going to start on the wheels and all the lower parts of the car to get any tar, sort of embedded, deeper embedded dirt off. So what I'll do is start that now. Right, now it's time for a scrub. Okay, this just goes to show you the level of dirt we're dealing with. All of that's just come out of those roof trims. Lovely. Right, let's keep going on. clay mitt today, which is almost like you just wipe it over, like I've just washed the car, but it's also a clay bar, so it takes it off. But it's not as aggressive as a generic clay bar. And we've all seen the roof on this, and I need something pretty strong. So, Reg, what do you think? Yeah? He agrees. So we're going to crack this open, and we're going to start on the roof, because that's the worst part. Well, this stuff's just breaking, Reg. This doesn't seem like normal clay. I know. Look, it's just breaking. It's like crumbly. This isn't clay bar. Right, now the only issue with my clay mitt is that it's fine. So I don't know how abrasive this is going to be when it comes down to doing what I want it to do. Okay, it's now the next day. Now I finished the washing completely. The camera shut off. It took so long. It took 4 hours to wash and clay bar this thing completely. So I was absolutely knackered. This morning I've woken up and I'm ready to crack on with the polishing part of this. And if I shine the torch on, you can see how nice and sort of metallic this finish is on the parts me and my dad have painted. And then you can see it sort of fade off a bit here. Now the bonnet looks quite oxidised, the paint isn't popping very nicely, and it's quite cloudy to look at through the clear coat, so I should be able to make a massive improvement on this. There's a lot of bird dropping marks that have been probably left on. I've never seen them this ingrained in the paintwork. So I'll prep my polishing pad and I'll be back with you once I've found the best result. Okay, so I've been at this for a few minutes now. Just giving it a couple of test spots now. I did a test spot here with just polish and it hasn't done a particularly good job. And I've given 2 test sections a go with this Rupees medium cutting compound, and it seems to be doing the trick. So I'll move the camera in and show you what I've done. Okay, so here's the original paint. You can see there's a few marks in there, and then you can see the line where I have done the medium coarse cutting compound. Now, in my opinion, this is an exceptional improvement. I mean, look at the difference. Well, other than that bird dropping mark, which is a stubborn devil, most of the other imperfections have gone. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with this, as I don't have a depth gauge for the clear coat, and medium, I believe, is probably the safest I can go. I don't want to head up to the coarse, really coarse section, just in case I remove too much clear coat. But at the moment, I'm happy with this. A couple more goes over the bonnet, and I'll show you what the final product looks like. Right, here's the final result of the bonnet. Now, I have gone over in some of the really bad spots with the coarse compound, but I didn't want to use too much of that as it is quite an aggressive piece, and I have no idea how deep this is. Now, there's so many imperfections on this paint to the naked eye. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but you can see that there's things that have just gone through the paintwork, and unfortunately the bonnet seems to be the main victim of that. You see here we've got a big chip. If I head into this lighting, you can see that there's been multiple touch-ups, which maybe you can't see, but there's bits that have just gone sort of way through the clear coat, like these bird droppings. I physically can't get these off even with the strongest compounds, and you can actually see there that that's gone through the clear coat and into the paint. there, so unfortunately I just got no chance of getting those off. But this is as good as it's going to get on the bonnet. Obviously it's not quite as good as I was hoping, but overall when you actually look at the condition of the paintwork, I've done pretty well. So once I'm finished, I'm going to go for a bit of this Poor Boys World Natty's paste wax. Now I've used this before on our Mercedes, which had black paint, and this was really, really nice to use. So I think on this dark green it's going to come out really well. So once I've finished the cutting and polishing, I'm going to go around with the paste wax. So I'll time lapse me going all the way around the car, and you can see what 2 days of work looks like. Pieces for me to do are the back door, back panel, boot, and the whole other side, which shouldn't take too long, as I'm not doing the pieces we painted, as the polishing makes absolutely no difference on these whatsoever. I've done a side-by-side comparison and it did absolutely nothing. So we're going to continue with a fine cut all the way around the top half of the car, and then I'll show you the polishing. Right then, Dad joins me for the outro. I thought I'd show his pretty face. I mean, he's always nice to have around.
You got to have the bit of what is it?
I have no idea.
Man totty.
Man totty, yep. We'll use him for the views, for the clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait.
Everyone will click you, won't they?
Yeah.
Well, if you take a look at the Panda.
I don't want to touch it because it's so clean.
This paintwork has the colour of it, the metallic's lovely, isn't it?
I don't like green.
No, we've been
to love it.
We've been saying how lovely it looks in the sun, and after I finish the outro, I'll do a little collection of sort of move-bys with the camera so you can see what it looks like. Obviously, when I was polishing it, you've seen that there are loads of blemishes in the paint. There's a lot through the actual paint, a lot of dents, lots of dings, and actually there's some bird poo that's corroded right the way through.
That's the main issue, actually.
Bird poo and a little mark up there that looks like bird poo as well. But actually, for a finish, the best part's the bit we painted, which I'm really happy with.
That's a miracle.
But the paintwork's lovely. It's come up a treat, and we have gone over it with.
Such a beautiful. I mean, I'm gobsmacked. When you look at it in the light, it's such a beautiful.
It is. There's
done a beautiful.
There's
job.
a lovely gold flake in it. It's really nice. And
I don't know how you got that, and how we actually managed to spray.
No,
I'm right chuffed with that.
Me too. Yeah, considering it was our first proper normal paint job.
And we did it outside.
Yeah, it actually went really well. And what we have done is go over it with a Poor Boys wax. It's called
Natty's wax.
Natty's wax, that's the one. Natty's wax, and it's
We do like the poor boy stuff.
yeah, the poor boy
Not
stuff.
Sponsored by them.
No.
But if you'd like to sponsor someone with no views,
Yep,
feel
hit us
free.
up. Yeah, but it's a lovely finish it leaves, and it's really easy to buff on. Dad went round, buffed it on, and a couple of minutes later, when it hazed, I buffed it off, and it does leave a glass finish on
Yeah,
it.
it's lovely. And because it's a black paste, just for your own interest, we picked a black paste, and some of the little marks, it does.
Yes, it's designed
they
for
just disappear.
darker paints, and it does aid in getting rid of the
bird's poo,
smaller
I'm afraid,
bits
is beyond
its limit.
beyond anybody's help, I think.
But overall, it took me the weekend to do it, but it was totally worth it.
job.
I mean, it looks fantastic.
And
So
the steering wheel.
the steering wheel cover, yes. Hopefully you've watched that video. That is
because it's something that you touch, and it makes
a drastic
the
improvement.
steering wheel much more sporty.
Yes.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Great
So
job.
that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll do a little collection of bits and bobs so you can see the lovely paintwork in the sun. And thank you very much. Very much enjoyed doing it. Bit of backache after the weekend, but it was totally worth it because it looks great. So we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.